have installed APKtool in my Kali machine. I'll use some commands to showcase like what we can do from the APKtool, right? So as you are aware, I have already discussed that APKtool will be using for the decompilation process. So we have an APK, right? APK are nothing but an zip file, or we can say an archive file. So in order to decompile the file, we make use of APKtool. Not only with the decompilation, even developers use the APKtool to compile. And if as a security guy, we decompile it, we try to change some code, compile it again to APK and try to run the APK files to see what is the behavior, right? So now let's run few commands. So with the help of APKtool, okay, so let me download a APK first. So I think I might be having the APK called Duolingo in my downloads. Let me see. Okay, I have this APK file duolingo.apk, right? So okay, so APKtool D as in decompilation, right? So CD downloads. Let me first move to my downloads directory. ls I have this APK Duolingo APK. Now APK is already installed, so APKtool D. Then I will use Duolingo apk.apk. So what will happen is this will decompile the duolingo.apk file and it will create a folder, and then it will produce the content. So as you can see here, now it is decompiling here. So in this decompilation process, it will look for all the flags, molly codes, all the resources, and then it will produce it in a folder. So now it is doing a manifest package, decompiling, decoding the file resources. You can see back smelling classes.dex files. See, as you can see, classes2.dex, classes.dex, classes3.dex. So it is nothing but it is the dex file, that is it will APKtool will convert into jar or Java, and then with the help of these Java you can read your manifest files and all, right? So let's check it out. So it is still decompiling. Okay, now it has successfully decompiled. Now let's see, doing a ls, you will see now it has create. Okay, now it has created a folder called Duolingo. Okay, from .apk it is creating a folder, and in this folder you will see all the contents of the Duolingo. Now let me go to this folder. Now if I hit ls, you see I can see. So the content should be like Android manifest.xml, apktool.yml file, Kotlin based codes, Molly codes. We will all see during our static analysis. Now if you want to see the Android manifest.xml contents, let me type in cat in order to read the file and XML. So if you see here, you are able to read these files because this is the outcome of the decompilation. Okay, similarly, and in the decompilation process you can read the manifest.xml file, right? But now let's try to unzip and see if we really can read by just unzipping the file. So this is the Duolingo APK file, right? Let me use unzip Duolingo, unzip Duolingo.3.apk file. So you can see this started unzipping it, right? But what we will see now is, now do an ls, and you can see all the unzipping, right? Unzipping files, the file is unzipped and all the contents being produced to the downloads directory, not to any specific directory. Yes, we could have specified the directory, but we haven't specified any directory, so which is why it has pushed the files in the downloads directory itself, right? Now there is an Android manifest.xml file that is produced by Duolingo. Now we will see and try to read this file, and you see this file is unreadable, right? This file is unreadable. Now as you can see here, some of the contents are not readable. Now similar thing what we will do with the help of decompilation, right? We have done a decompilation and we saw that the APK has decompiled and kept the contents in a directory, the same directory called here. So I'll just uh, move to this directory and I'll try to read the Android manifest file. See, you can see you can read all the contents, but while unzipping we were not unable to read the contents, but here we can read the contents easily. So this is the human readable format. During the decompilation it will keep all the contents in a directory, even though if you do not mention it, but while unzipping it, it will directly unzip. So you need to mention the directory, because it is, if you unzip it without specifying any directory, so it will be like all the files again will be populated in the same directory. For me it is download. We'll again we'll see other commands also from the APK tool, but not in detail. So like APK tool is used D and the APK file to decompile. Similarly, if instead of D, if you give B, then it will be like recompile of the code. Okay. Now there is also if you type in just APK tool, you'll see there are a lot of information or the options available to get your hands dirty. Like security, we'll be using it in our decompilation process. So developer, they use to recompile, decompile, or compile. Then also they use to sign in the APK. Okay, and then they try to release it in the market. So yeah, so we'll be using a few basics. We'll see it in our static analysis. Okay, so let's talk about another method that is called dex2jar. So probably in this particular method you have to convert the dex files to jar files, and then jar files to Java files. So particularly in dex2jar method, what we have to do is we have to install dex2jar. So simple command, again sudo apt install dex2jar. So you can install by the with this command. So probably, yeah, I already have this. So again, you can install dex2jar, and also you need to install sudo apt install JD-GUI is a graphical interface. Probably this is also present. Okay, so once these two things are installed, now what we have to do is, let me go to the downloads folder and check for an APK file, right? So this duolingo.apk is still there. So what I'll do is I'll have to uh, convert this APK file. Okay, APK file has the dex contents and the dex to jar file. So what I'll do, I'll use the command dex to jar duolingo.apk to jar file. So if I type just dex to jar, okay, duolingo.apk, so it will not uh, do the conversion. For this dex2jar, it has a utility called d2j. Okay, d2j hyphen dex2jar. So I'll just type d2j hyphen dex2jar, and then I'll use duolingo.apk. This is an utility present inside dex2jar. So if you install dex2jar, this utility, you can use d2j hyphen dex2jar duolingo application.apk. If you hit enter, you see the APK file is now converted into jar file. We have to do is we have to use JD-GUI, the one which we have used. So with the JD-GUI command, we will use this jar file and able to see the contents of the file. Now you can see the jar file is present, right? So what we'll do is, we cannot use of this jar file. Instead we'll use the JD-GUI graphical interface. Okay, as you can see, it is loading the GUI. Okay, now what you have to do is next is file, click on open file and select the jar file. Once you select the jar file, it will take some little bit of time and it will show the contents. As you can see, all the Java codes here, class files, all the contents are displayed over here, right? You can select anything and you can see the files. Let's summarize what you have seen. So first thing we saw is about the ZX. So in the ZX we try to install using apt install ZX, which is a simple command line tool. And in the ZX what we have observed is the APK file is directly getting converted to Java file, right? And here we can also see the decompiled Android manifest file, which is easily readable. Now second we saw is APKtool. So in the APKtool we again installed with apt install APKtool, and here what we have what we are doing is we are explicitly decompiling the APK file. Whatever the APK file is, we are decompiling the APK file. So in and also in the because if you are not decompiling it, we are not able to read it. And in the APKtool we have to do all the stuffs like decompiling and recompiling, or again if you want to install an APK, you can make use of APKtool. Now again, the third method that we saw is dex2jar and JD-GUI. So in here we installed dex2jar and JD-GUI separately. So what was the installation? Like apt install again with the sudo command dex2jar, and with JD-GUI also apt install JD-GUI, apt install JD-GUI. Now dex2jar has a utility called d2j-dex2jar that will again convert your APK file to jar files, right? And in order to view the jar file, what we are using is JD-GUI. We'll use the command JD-GUI to view the jar file. We'll select the jar file from the graphical interface GUI. Now again, from the three, what we have observed is here in the dex to jar we used to convert dex to jar file, and then dex we are converting dex to jar file and again jar to Java files, right? With the help of JD-GUI, then only it is readable. But in the ZX we are directly converting APK to Java file and we can read directly. Here we are not doing a two-way process. Here it involves two-way process, dex to jar and JD-GUI again viewing the file, and APKtool is again to decompile. So the very better method is JDX, because directly it is converting to Java and then also it is producing the decompiled Android manifest file. So we do not have to do extra effort on this. So we can use JDX very comfortably. Okay. So yeah. So guys, ending up here. And if you have any queries, please leave your comments. And till then, have a good day.